Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Release with Shauna Elise. Insert title. So what I've noticed I have to do is find a way to get like a like a cute pose, because otherwise I'll be looking all like derpy and stuff in my I guess title or whatever it's called, cover of the video, and I'm like looking all crazy. So I'm trying to get in the habit of, I guess, giving y'all something before I start the video. So welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys have had an amazing week. I have had a week, let's just say that. This week I have been so exhausted, and I do not know why I am so exhausted. I mean, I know why. I'm working hard, but like I'm just overly exhausted. So I know I need to start working out and stuff faithfully again. When I work out, I feel better. When I do it on a constant basis, I feel a whole lot better. I have a lot more energy. I'm a better mom because I have a lot more patience, because I have more energy. I'm not running off of fumes, trying to parent and live my life and go to work. I have the energy to put into my child what she needs, and in my energy to put into what I need to do, like film my videos on time. And this week, the week from heck, has been hard because I honestly was not able to film my video. So it's Saturday today, and I will be filming today's video and tomorrow's video right now, so I can post one of them today and the other one tomorrow. But this video is, why did I get married? Why? So I post a question on my Facebook. What I'm trying to do now is do some more like questionnaire, live, conversations to kind of hear what people have to say. And just get some backstories from other people and see like, why they got married and what they went through, and see if I can get some advice from other people. I will be talking about on my Facebook an amazing couple. I am friends with the wife in the couple, and she and I have worked with each other on and off now for some years. And she, one, as a human being herself, is just a really, really great person. But her marriage is something that I aspire to have. I mean, let me tell you, when she leaves for work and he would come pick her up, she's like spraying perfume and she's getting all giddy because he's coming to get her. I hope this doesn't start again, where I'm wiping my nose all the time. I'm trying to break that habit, but my nose always feels like it's running, but it's not, so I'm like wiping my nose all the time. But she gets so giddy and excited to see him, and she has no problem admitting that marriage is work and it's hard work, and they don't have the best days every day, but the fact that they're both dedicating to work at that marriage, that right there, that's the piece of pie that we want. So first I'm gonna do a little story time, tell you guys about my experience, tell you guys, why I'm even doing the video first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into what I think people need in a marriage. And this is not based off of me having a successful marriage. I did not have a successful marriage, but it's based off me coming from experience, and it's coming from, so I'm basing off of experience and what I went through and things that I've heard and I've learned from other successful couples that I think is important. I'm not married. I don't have a man, and I'm not anyone to tell anybody what to do in their relationship. I'm going to tell you guys what I think is what is needed to build a strong foundation in a relationship and in a marriage. Is that cool with y'all? All right, perfect. Whether y'all said it or not, I'm gonna be like Dora Explorer up in here and be like, "Do you want to play? Okay, let's play." Whether you said yes or no or not. So why did I get married? Why did I get married? How I met my ex-husband. So a girlfriend and I, we used to have bets to see who could meet the most guys. The end goal of the bet was to see how many of us how many guys we met. So you got an award for quantity. Then you got an award for quality. How cute they were, how successful they were. You got an award for quality. I'm not proud of it. I was 19. It is what it is. I mean, guys do it all the time, right? So we had this contest, and we, you know, she was in the middle of a breakup from her boyfriend. So we're like, you know, let's just do this contest. We would go meet the guys, hang out with them. Oh yeah, you got rated on like who had the cutest friends and stuff like that. And so we agreed to do this contest, and I'm like on MySpace, meet my ex-husband. Like, we would meet them all kind of ways, like MySpace, in person, like whatever. We would just meet guys and then like go hang out with them. And so I met him, and I was in the process of gathering my guys, and this girl gets back with her boyfriend. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm stuck talking to these guys that I don't really like have any interest in. I'm just doing it to accumulate the numbers, and you just are now back with your man. So you know, all the rest of them, I kind of let them fall off, but I continue to talk to my ex-husband over the phone, talking to him. I was a little concerned. You know, if you ever like texting with somebody and their grammar and the way they speak is kind of like, you know, you question their education, and you know, like, it's just what happens. But like with him, I would question like his level of intelligence, for lack of a better way of trying to explain this. But when I met him in person, he's very, very intelligent. He just he doesn't have social skills, I guess is what it is. So I met him or whatever. We went on a date, and at this time in my life, now I tell you guys that I've been through a lot. I had just broken up with the prior boyfriend, and I mean, you know who you are. So if you watch my videos, you know who you are. And I'm gonna put a little bit of our business out there, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry, okay? He had babies. And he had went to prison. And so, you know, we broke up because, you know, he was trying to work things out with the mother of his child. And, you know, it was just better for me to cut ties. We didn't have any ties with each other. So it was better for us to cut ties and just be friends. So while he was in prison, we remained pen pals and friends. So I meet my ex-husband, and he's complete opposite of what I'm used to. I mean, he got a 9-to-5. He, you know, when he hangs out with his friends, he may have a beer or two, and he's a little buzzed, like completely different than what I'm used to at that time in my life. And again, I mentioned that I didn't go away to school due to some due to some family issues. I did not go away to school because I felt like I needed to be there for my brothers and sisters. Those same issues are what led me to feel like I needed to be the example for my brothers and sisters. So I'm like, all right, you know, he's got a job. He's got a, you know, a good 9-to-5. He's square, never, you know, barely, very, very rarely dated squares. My high school sweetheart, he was square, but he had like, you know, he had a little bit of a past, but nothing like I really ever dealt with. He just had a little bit of a past, but, he was just different from what I was used to. I'm very outgoing. I'm very sociable. I can go into a party and talk about anything and talk to anyone. And for him, I mean, he's quiet. When my daughter mimics him, she's like, hi, okay. I said, stop doing that. Like, I always used to say when we were together, he was like Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond. And people used to say I was like the wife. Like, we are just complete opposites. And to me, I'm like, well, that's balance, right? They say, you know, they say be with your opposite. Through us dating, there was some infidelity on his part, and I would make excuses for him, like, man, like, you know, he did not get sexually active until he was in his 20s. So that being said, So that being said, I felt like as a man, he had not sowed his oats. I think that everyone in their life deserves a hoe stage before they settle down. And I felt that he never had the opportunity to have his hoe stage because he started later in life. So I made excuses for him. By the time it came down for us, like, being together and, got all that, it wasn't a whole lot of cheating at first, but it was some like hurtful cheating, I should say. Once we got that out of the way, he eventually proposed to me. One thing that I believed in was I wanted to live with whoever I was with for a year to make sure that we can live in the same place before we got married. I mean, people's true colors come out when you live with them. So I felt like, you can paint a really pretty picture when you're not living with each other. It's hard to do that when you're day-to-day actually living with each other, to paint that facade of what you have going on. And that's what I believed. So I wanted us to live together for a year before we got married. So we did that. We got our apartment together. Let me tell y'all how he proposed to me. We were actually apartment hunting, and I'm trying to run around and like get ready for us to go. And I'm like, come on, hurry up, come on, hurry up. And he's doing his normal like his little mopey dopey walk. And I'm like, we gotta go, like, come on, hurry up. And he's like still doing this like thing. So I'm like putting my stuff in my purse, changing out my bag, and he's like, behind me. And so I turn around and I'm like, hello. And when I turn around, he's standing up. This man is 6'4", just standing up with the ring out. And he's like, will you marry me? And I'm like, yeah, like it just threw me completely off. There was nothing special, spectacular, about our proposal. But what I loved about our proposal is that it was us. It was me rushing him along and him being his old self, being so awkward. And then him being awkward, not even getting down on one knee. And like, at that point, he told me how much the ring cost. Like, he was so cheap. He told me how much the ring cost right after he proposed to me, and compared it to a ring to a girl who he cheated on me with that she recently got from her fiance. It was just a hot mess of a proposal. But at the time, for me, that was special. And I mean, to me still, that was special because it was us at the time. Outside of him telling me the price and him telling me that the girl he cheated on me with lost her ring, so he bought me a cheap ring. Yeah. Signs. Read the signs. So as it starts coming time for us to get married, we end up breaking up during our engagement. I don't tell anyone. I don't tell nobody that we broke up. I just keep going on. And I ran into my high school sweetheart. I went and hung out with him. We and him went to go see a show. And then we went and hung out like at this park, and we were just talking. I always felt like he was the one who got away from me. I was going through a lot in my life with my family, and I really felt like I couldn't be what he deserved. He came from a pretty well-off family. I was dealing with some stuff in my family that I wasn't proud of. And he, I felt like it wasn't fair to him that he had to deal with that. And then, I was financially trying to take care of my brothers and sisters, buying school clothes, and I was just trying to be the adult when I really didn't need to I didn't really need to be the adult, but part of me did need to be the adult. And so I thought, like when I was with him, all these feelings were going to come back, but I still wanted my ex-husband. I still wanted him. And, I got back home, and I'm like, I hung out with him, and I didn't dredge up old feelings. It didn't make me feel like I needed to be with him. So I was like, well, that must mean that I want to be with my husband then. I mean, my ex-husband now. But that must mean I want to be with him because of that. And no, it just meant that I was over that particular person. But I'm thinking, well, it has to be that. I mean, if that's someone I felt like that got away, it has to be that. So then I'm trying to talk myself into this. I'm like, I mean, he's got a job. He's a provider. I mean, we live together. He paid the rent. I pay utilities because I'm just that type of woman. I'm going to contribute something to the household. So I pay utilities, but I had a really bad shopping problem. And so sometimes he would pay some of my utilities. But we honestly, I honestly started talking myself into it. Like, well, you know what? he doesn't hit you. Like, he did used to cheat, but he's not cheating anymore. He never hit you. He doesn't really raise his voice. If he raises his voice, you know, you probably did something that angered him. You know, he was overall a good guy. And then I'm like, it's a good example for my brothers and sisters to see, you know, like, he's a good man. He treats his sisters, his sibling, he treats me well. So he treats, you know, for them to be able to see him treating me well. I do not know how I want to say that and why I can't get the words out to say it, but for them to see him treating me well. I wanted that example for them. I wanted them to see a successful marriage, because at that point in our life, I mean, we saw a lot of cheating. We saw a lot of mental and physical abuse. Like, it just is what it is. And to me, it was going to be a fresh eyes for them to see a healthy relationship. So my original maid of honor, she pulled out of my wedding. She told me that she felt that I was settling, I guess, in so many words, but she also at the same time had told me that she felt like I should have been, you know, with someone else, with my high school sweetheart. But I'm like, you know, that's over. Like, that's not it. It's not it. And she basically called me out and said, like, you know, she felt that I should not be marrying him, that she thought I was getting married to get married. And it wasn't that I was getting married to get married. After I realized it, was able to call myself out too. It was that I was getting married to give my family an example of what, you know, what should have been real, but it wasn't real. My ex-husband, he made pretty good money, and he would get used a lot. And a lot of the women that he dated just really dated him to use him. And I had to prove to him, like, people could be with you without needing anything from you. The last thing I ever want a guy to feel like is that he has to buy me something. I may be a little bratty, but like materialistic stuff, that does not appease me. It does not keep me. It does not get my attention. I've talked about this before, so I won't get back into that rant. But I had to prove to him that you don't need money to, someone can want to be with you genuinely without wanting something from you. So go back and forth, and he and I are going to get married. And at one point I wanted to call it off, but what was happening was that I wanted to call it off. I kind of knew that it wasn't like really my end goal. Like, people always say, like, oh, I can see myself growing old with a person. And I thought, like, you know, I could see myself getting older with him. But then at the same time, I could never really picture us getting old together. Like, I could never really picture us sitting on a porch together. I could never picture forever. I don't know what happened, but my thing told me my battery was low, so I don't know what y'all got or not. But I could never really picture forever with him. But I felt like he was a really good guy, and that's what I needed. I'm supposed to be with a good person. My dad always says marry the opposite of him. I was marrying, my dad's a really good person. Not saying that. I'm saying that my dad would say the opposite of him, of what my dad was doing in his life versus, you know, not how he treated his kids and how he raised his kids, but how the moves he was making in his life. So I'm like, you know, I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the right thing. And, you know, I convinced myself into being with him, and everyone's like, you guys are so different. And I'm like, you have to marry your opposite. You can't always be with the person who is just like you. But what people were seeing was that it was not a difference in a positive way. It was a difference in, we weren't really on the same page. I mean, like, he's a gamer, which I've dated gamers, but he's a gamer. But he played World of Warcraft, and I tried playing that when we first met to, like, you know, get on the same page as him. He's really into conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And I mean, like, there's certain things that I believe, but I'm not going to invest 70 hours of me researching something. Like, some things, like, I just, that to me, that's not my thing. But I still felt like we were, like, balancing each other out. This is what I had convinced myself. I convinced myself that I was in love with him. I was not in love with him. I was in love with the idea of giving my family an example of what love is. What I learned from it. When I get married next time, I'm going to marry for a partnership. I really, really strongly believe that when you get married, they have you do, so I feel like they say like you should do couples counseling and stuff like that. And I do think that you should do that. I think that you should really understand communication when you're in a relationship with somebody. And communication is very much key. But I think team building, it's ironic as that might seem, but team building to me is what I think couples should have to do. I think that you should be stuck somewhere where you have to work as a team through something really hard before you get married. Like, you know, be stuck out in the woods somewhere and have to figure out how you're going to find shelter together, how, you know, do it as a team and work through arguments and work through disagreements and allowing the other person to have an opinion. This is what I think that you should have to do before getting married rather than just counseling. And then after doing that experiment, I think that you should go to counseling so that way you can understand what you're learning from it. You learn how to work together. You learn what makes that person tick and how to know when to back off and say what you have to say, or know when to stand your ground and speak your mind. So, why did I get married? I was trying to prove something to my family. I was trying to prove something to him. And what I needed to prove was that I wasn't in love. And I got an amazing, beautiful child from that situation. But I need to find someone who is my partner, who we have the same end goal, we have the same mission, and that we can build this strong foundation. And I'm gonna quote Amy is her name, my favorite couple, that we can build this strong foundation. So from there, we can build a castle if we want to build a castle. I believe that a strong foundation in a marriage should be built off of love, companionship, your friendship. And through that, because when you have a friendship, a genuine friendship, a genuine love for someone, you respect them, you respect their opinion, you respect how your actions affect their actions. You just do what you're supposed to do when you're in love with someone, and you want to be better so then that person can see you being better. And when that's happening at the same time, you're both becoming better. And I want to find that in my partner. And I want my ex-husband to be happy. I want him to find somebody else than who he's with. I want him to find somebody who he is equally yoked with, someone who has the same passion and beliefs that he has, someone who is going to build him up and make him a stronger man, and, you know, be a great stepmother to my child, not the girl who he's with. We can talk about that later, people who make me tick. Because I tell y'all all about this love and positivity, but I don't want y'all to ever think and get it twisted. I am not perfect. People make me mad, and sometimes I stoop to their level. And I try hard not to stoop to their level, but I do. I'm going to wrap this up. So, why did I get married? To prove something to somebody. That shouldn't be the reason why you get married. If you're not getting married out of love and partnership and developing something with somebody that is true and real, then don't get married. Thank you for watching Release with Shauna Elise. Catch y'all next time.